The NFPA Education and Technology Foundation is a tax-exempt, charitable organization aligned with NFPA's strategy that funds outreach, education, and research initiatives in fluid power, all focused on the technologies and the workforce skills that we need to keep our industry growing. With the completion of our fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022, we've published our 8th annual Donor Impact Report, highlighting not just our successes over this past year, but the overall impact that our programs are having on the marketplace. This impact is a direct result of the financial and volunteer support offered by our many donors, and we're happy to present this overview of our report so you can better see the impact we are helping to create. Let's start with our mission. Simply stated, we are trying to increase the number of technical college and university students educated in fluid power and then connect them to careers in the fluid power industry. As you'll see, we have made tremendous strides in achieving this objective. Through the support of our donors, our programs are helping to change the talent pool available to our industry. More young people are aware of the fluid power industry. More 2-year technical college and 4-year university graduates have specific training in fluid power. More universities have research facilities and education programs focused on fluid power. And more partnerships between these schools and our industry are increasing access to highly talented candidates. This is truly our mission, yours and ours, and it is working. The first part of our mission is to create more fluid power educated tech school graduates. To do that, the NFPA and the NFPA Foundation conduct a number of student outreach and education programs designed to create a pathway into the fluid power industry. We have a series of programs that first introduce fluid power in middle schools, then provide fluid power educational experiences in high schools, then fluid power degrees and certificates in tech schools, and finally connections to jobs in the fluid power industry. Many of these programs are organized under our Fast Track to Fluid Power initiative, which helps create workforce development pathways that connect high schools with local technical colleges and industry partners. These networks create awareness and interest in fluid power and lead students along a path that connects to careers in our industry. There are 4 key programs we'll highlight as part of Fast Track to Fluid Power. The first is the Fluid Power Action Challenge, which has now engaged more than 26,000 middle school students in learning about and having fun with fluid power. This is one of our flagship programs, designed to raise awareness among students, educators, and parents, with our industry members serving as coaches, judges, and event hosts. In the Fluid Power Action Challenge, middle school students solve a real-world engineering problem by building a fluid power mechanism made from balsa wood and plastic syringes. The students work in teams to design and build their fluid power mechanism and then compete against other teams in a timed competition to see who can score the most points with their fluid power device. Much of the support for this program is offered by these folks, our Action Challenge champions. Each of these members, schools, or other partners have made a commitment to conduct and grow an annual Fluid Power Action Challenge in their local communities. Collectively, they have now been responsible for 139 events, reaching more than 12,000 students. Among NFPA members, these champions include Caterpillar, Damon Products Company, Deltrol Fluid Products, Durabar, Force America, Husco, Hydroquip, Hydrotech, Master Pneumatic, Micromatic, Parker Hannifin, Price Engineering, and Wojana Supply Company. As a foundation donor or as an NFPA member, you may wish to consider starting an action challenge in your community. As our challenge champions can attest, it's a great way to connect your company to your local schools and begin exposing young people to the technology and industry that you represent. The NFPA Foundation also awards grants to middle schools to facilitate their participation in the Action Challenge, either at one of the Challenge Champion events or through the use of fluid power kits and curriculum in their classrooms. In total, 214 schools across the country have received these grants, and through this mechanism, the program has been extended to an additional 13,000 students. The second program to highlight is the growing number of fast-track high schools that have been equipped with fluid power lab equipment and curriculum so that they can teach real-world fluid power and generate interest in fluid power careers. As each of our fast-track hub schools come online, we work to build a network of feeder high schools around each hub. These high schools serve as an important bridge between the middle school action challenges happening in each community and the formal fluid power education that takes place at the technical college. And there are now 15 high schools in this network. 6 are around the hub at Triton College in Illinois, and 8 are around the hub at Waukesha County Technical College in Wisconsin. The third hub at Macomb Community College in Michigan has just launched and will be building and supporting its high school network next year. The third program to highlight are the scholarships that we offer to graduating high school students in order to pursue fluid power degrees or certificates at designated technical colleges and universities. Thanks to a transfer of assets from the now defunct Fluid Power Educational Foundation, and thanks to an ongoing series of annual gifts that we receive from the International Fluid Power Society, the NFPA Foundation has set up a dedicated scholarship fund that has now awarded 58 $2,000 scholarships to students interested in studying fluid power at one of our education partner institutions. The list of the most recent 14 recipients is shown on this slide. Importantly, you can see that the list contains 3 students who are now studying fluid power at Triton College, one of the fast-track hub schools. As more and more of those hub schools come online, it is our intent to use these scholarships to help funnel more and more promising students into those programs and then into positions in the fluid power industry. Our second scholarship program, the Fluid Power Robotics Challenge, aims to increase the awareness and use of fluid power among high school students that compete in one of several national robotics competitions. Each year, one student that uses fluid power in their robot design receives up to $40,000 in scholarships, up to $10,000 a year for up to 4 years of college. And we've made 6 such awards over the last 6 years, with each of our recipients going on to study engineering at a national university. Our first recipient, a young man named Spencer Teagues, is now working in the fluid power industry. The goal of this program is to get more students excited and interested in fluid power. And based on the growing number of applications we receive each year, we are clearly having that effect. The fourth program to highlight is the growing number of fast-track technical colleges that we're supporting across the country. Each fast-track technical college is a school with a 2-year degree program that has been validated to teach the core fluid power competencies identified by our industry partners. There are now 3 fast-track technical colleges up and running. One in Wisconsin, headquartered at Waukesha County Technical College, one in Illinois at Triton College, and now one in Michigan at Macomb Community College. In our most recent school year, the fluid power degree programs at these schools provide advanced level training to more than 260 students who, because of the coalition of industry partners that we've brought into these institutions, are getting internships and moving into positions in the fluid power industry. We're challenging ourselves to scale this program to 9 more states over the next 5 years, and we will need the support and engagement of many more NFPA members if we are to make that happen. When we nest all 4 of those programs together in the same community, we create what we call a fast track hub. These hubs are critical pieces of workforce development infrastructure that need the support of NFPA members and NFPA Foundation donors in order to be successful. Industry partners can and should be working with students all along the pathway that these hubs create. They can and should be hosting or judging the middle school action challenges. They can and should be visiting the fast track high schools to talk about fluid power careers. They can and should be offering internships or directly hiring the students in the fast track hub schools. NFPA members are actively doing these things at our hubs in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan, but we need more of this kind of support to successfully launch the future hubs planned for all the other states shown on this map. Fast Track is a program that works, and that's why we're investing our resources to build out this nationwide network. It is developing the technical talent that your business needs, but you must engage with us and with the schools we're working with if that talent is going to find its way into your business. The second part of our mission is to create more fluid power educated university engineers. Here we are also building a pathway into our industry, a pathway based on bringing more fluid power content to university engineering classrooms and to extracurricular activities, and then connecting the students exposed to that content to fluid power companies and careers. Our many programs in this space are now being organized into our Power Partner Universities initiative. Power Partner Universities are schools that not only have a strong fluid power curriculum in their engineering program, but also engage fluid power industry members to facilitate connections with students. To be designated an NFPA Power Partner University, a school must do the following 5 things. First, they must teach the fluid power competencies that our industry members have identified as most important for entry-level engineers in the fluid power industry. Second, they must invite one of the industry partners in our Speakers Bureau to speak on fluid power careers or technology on their campus. Third, they must have an undergraduate fluid power club that meets regularly and connects students to fluid power resources. Fourth, they must have a team that participates in our Fluid Power Vehicle Challenge. And fifth, they must host an industry connection event to introduce fluid power educated students to companies in the NFPA membership. Let's talk first about those competencies. Thanks to the efforts of our many industry partners, we have defined both general fluid power competencies as well as additional competencies for the electronics, control systems, and data acquisition skills that are becoming so important. Our goal is to work with our university partners to develop undergraduate curriculum that addresses all of these competencies, the ones deemed most relevant for entry-level engineers in our industry, and then to aggregate all of that curriculum online so that it can be accessed and implemented anywhere. And right now, thanks to years of funding various teaching, laboratory, and curriculum grants, we are in a position to offer both university and technical college faculty a full fluid power curriculum for insertion into their engineering and mechatronics courses. Teaching grants, laboratory grants, curriculum grants, this effort has gone by various names over the years, but the intent has always been the same: increase the amount of fluid power being taught in our nation's universities and technical schools. In our history, we have now given 47 of these grants to 36 schools in the 17 states shown here. Thanks to these efforts, many of these schools have now added a critical hands-on component to their growing platforms of fluid power instruction. Our second Power Partner requirement is to invite one of the industry partners in our Speakers Bureau to speak on fluid power careers or technology on their campus. Through our Speakers Bureau program, we are bringing industry professionals to university, technical college, and high school classrooms to help build student awareness of opportunities in the fluid power industry and to foster connections with schools around the country. Instructors tell us that visits from fluid power professionals help students see the real-world applications of the material they are learning in their classrooms. What's more, it is an excellent way for companies to increase their name recognition among potential employees. To date, this new program has brought representatives of 25 companies to speak to classes at 22 schools. Our third Power Partner requirement is to have an undergraduate fluid power club that meets regularly and connects students to fluid power resources. We launched our Fluid Power Club program on university campuses to help expose a greater number of students to fluid power education and career possibilities. This past year, 15 universities in the 13 states shown here have established clubs, which have impacted 110 engineering students across the country. Our foundation provides annual funding to support these clubs and their activities. Students have been organizing fluid power study groups and social events. They've launched student job fairs and resume building workshops. They've collaborated with vehicle challenge students, and they've invited industry professionals to speak with them about career opportunities in fluid power. Our fourth Power Partner requirement is to have a team that participates in our Fluid Power Vehicle Challenge. This past year was our sixth organizing this one-of-a-kind design-build challenge, and we had a record-breaking 23 universities from across the country participating. Our vehicle challenge brings hands-on fluid power education to university engineers as they work to design and build a fluid-powered vehicle which can compete in sanctioned sprint, efficiency, and endurance challenges. For many of these students, the challenge is their first real exposure to fluid power systems and components, and the program has an impressive track record of connecting those students with companies in the fluid power industry who have hired them and helped them start careers in our industry. Our program sponsors certainly recognize this opportunity. Like the number of universities, we also had a record number of industry partners serving as sponsors, judges, and mentors to all of those teams. For their support, we want to thank our founding sponsor, Parker Hannafin, for providing a grant and general support of the program. We want to thank IFP Motion Solutions, Norgren, and SunSource, who served as program sponsors, working directly with our students to select and distribute components to each of the participating universities. And we wish to thank Danfoss, Eaton, Lubrizol, Source Fluid Power, and Vest, who all served as product suppliers, making components, hydraulic fluid, and custom manifolds available to the student teams. With so many teams participating this year, we had to organize 2 final competition events. And so special thanks goes to Danfoss, who hosted the first event at their facility in Ames, Iowa, and special thanks also goes to Norgren, who hosted the second event at their facility in Littleton, Colorado. The fifth and final Power Partner requirement is to host an industry connection event to introduce fluid power educated students to companies in the NFPA membership. In our first year of hosting these, 3 separate events were held on 3 different university campuses. A total of 28 member companies participated in these events, connecting in person or virtually with more than 250 students looking for jobs in the fluid power industry. When all 5 of these programs come together at the same school, we create what we call a Power Partner University. These are schools that not only have strong fluid power curriculum in their engineering programs, but who also engage fluid power industry members to facilitate connections with students. In essence, they are the go-to places for NFPA members to source engineering talent for their companies. Industry partners can and should be working with students in all of the programs that these Power Partners offer. They can and should join our Speakers Bureau and present on our industry and their technology to the Fluid Power Club on one of these campuses. They can and should coach one of the Fluid Power Vehicle Challenge teams. And they can and should attend the industry connection events that these universities host. NFPA members are actively doing these things with our power partners in Iowa, in Wisconsin, in Illinois, in Indiana, and now in Kentucky. These are all phenomenal ways to put your company's job openings in front of a growing population of student engineers interested and excited about going to work in the fluid power industry. And with your added support, we'll be able to bring those same opportunities to new power partners in all the states highlighted on this map. Now, through the lens of all these successful tech school and university programs, it's easy to see our overarching national strategy of building community-based education pathways into the fluid power industry. What is not so easy to see, at least not yet, is the dramatic impact that we expect to have on attracting people of diverse backgrounds into these pathways. The corporate leaders who serve on our board of directors have long recognized the value that a diverse workforce brings in terms of increased productivity, creativity, and access to new business opportunities. And they have also recognized that while the hiring needs in our industry can sometimes outpace the number of candidates that we have in our pathway programs, there is a vast and largely untapped pool of additional talent that could potentially be developed. In bringing these two ideas together, our leadership has helped us define, and we have now launched, a new initiative in our workforce development efforts. Fluid Power Connects is an initiative designed to connect underrepresented populations to educational opportunities and rewarding career pathways in the fluid power industry. Through Fluid Power Connects, we have begun working with our educational partners to widen the gender and racial diversity of the students being drawn into our programs. Right now, that means reaching out to middle and high schools in underserved areas and trying to connect them to our existing fast-track hubs. And it means working with minority student organizations on the campuses of our power partner universities to help expose their members to the fluid power education and job opportunities that we can offer. These efforts are just getting off the ground, but as we continue to scale our programs to more and more communities around the country, we will be looking for opportunities to engage with a broader diversity of potential candidates for our industry. So all of our activities, the programs embedded in both our Fast Track and Power Partner initiatives, are only possible because of the continuing support of the many donors to the NFPA Foundation. This slide shows the companies and individuals who made a donation to the NFPA Foundation in our past recognition year. There are 101 names on this list, and collectively, they donated more than $380,000 to our foundation. If you or your organization has donated to the foundation, I want to sincerely thank you for your support and engagement. Every gift matters. If your company is not currently a donor, I would strongly encourage you to consider joining our Pascal Giving and Recognition Society. As you can see, we have a robust and complete portfolio of programs designed to help your company build and access the workforce talent you need to stay competitive. Pascal is a mechanism that not only provides support for these programs, but because it is a set annual commitment, it provides us with the stability that we need to keep strengthening and growing the programs that matter most to you. A gift to the Pascal Society is one that is equal to at least 50% of a member company's dues. And with that gift, representatives from your company will sit on the leadership committee that helps us set strategy and determine funding directions for our programs, as well as engage directly with the students who are looking for work in the fluid power industry. This slide shows all the companies who have paid or pledged to donate through our Pascal Society in our most recently completed recognition year. All of their contributions are important, but I especially want to call out those organizations who have paid or pledged more than 50% of their dues to help sustain and support our critical programs. Those donors are Bosch Rexroth, Danfoss, Deltrol Fluid Products, Fluidine Fluid Power, Force America, Gates Corporation, Helios Technologies, Husco, IFP Motion Solutions, Kawasaki Precision Machinery, Linde Hydraulics Corporation, Main Manufacturing Products, Micromatic, Mosey's Production Machinists, Parker Hannafin, Poclane Hydraulics, Trelleborg Sealing Solutions, and Yates Industries. Thank you all for your support and engagement in our workforce development initiatives this past year. Your donations are essential, but so is the time that you volunteer to help engage and educate a new generation of students in fluid power. And that concludes our summary of the information you'll find in the 2022 Donor Impact Report of the NFPA Education and Technology Foundation. If you'd like to learn more, your best resource is the NFPA Foundation website, www.nfpafoundation.org.